everybody. It's Brett Buick here from Buckeye Dealership Consulting. I wanted to thank you guys for your time and attention while we're going to cover the topic of reinsurance here on our Wisdom Wednesdays over the next couple of weeks. I'd like to take this opportunity to encourage you as we talk about these things to please ask questions, whether it's calling me by phone, emailing me, or even messaging me directly. You can kind of help steer these conversations over the next couple of weeks if there's something that you specifically want to hear about that may be really interesting to you or you want some more information of. A little bit about Buckeye. We are a dealership consulting firm out of Ohio that specializes in the formation of reinsurance companies for independent automobile dealers exactly like yourselves. We focus primarily on buy here, pay here, finance companies. Maybe some of you might have a hybrid model where you're doing a little buy here, pay here, a little retail. All of those are perfectly fine, and our job is to work with you to help customize and create a plan specifically around reinsurance that's going to help you meet your company needs and also the needs of your customers. Let's get right into reinsurance from kind of like a 30,000 foot level. And what is it? Reinsurance is a way for you to create a separate company aside from your car dealership or maybe your RFC if you have one, and put you into the insurance business. And the way that it does that is it's going to take a lot of the things that you may or may not be doing already, like warranties or vehicle service contracts, GAP, CPI if you're taking advantage of that already, and put you in the driver's seat of those different products. Two things that we know that are constants in buy here, pay here is car insurance. You got to have it. Most of you probably requiring full coverage insurance, as you should be. And we also know that if the car quits running, people quit paying. So how can reinsurance help you with that? It helps you with that by taking the decision making and the cost control and the expense management and all the risk and kind of putting it in your hands. If you're requiring insurance now, how much time and energy are you spending to make sure that that customer has insurance, and who's doing that work for you? Is it your collectors doing it? Some of you maybe hired an insurance person. Well, with CPI, or the comprehensive part of full coverage insurance, you could manage that entire process internally, and instead of asking your customers to, please go pay for somebody else and send that money out the door, you're already in the collections business. Collect that premium dollar for yourself and put that money aside in your reinsurance company where it sits as reserve, and then use that to pay claims when they happen. It's going to help you increase your insurance penetration, and a lot of times it's more economical for your customers as well. Things like limited warranties or service contracts. Some of you may already be using them, and you're using like a third party or what we call a walk-away. If you're doing that, then we're not asking you to do anything different. We're just saying, hey, maybe there's a better way to do it where you get to decide what's covered, and you get to determine what the cost is going to be, and you get to have more control over the customer experience and also the claims process. Exact same process takes place. You're going to account for that in your deals, and then that money is going to go to your reinsurance company where it also sits awaiting to pay claims, and you're going to be the one who's in charge of that process to help control the customer experience, keep those cars on the road, and have a positive effect on your portfolio. So reinsurance, as a whole, is taking automotive dealers or finance companies, putting them in the reinsurance business, having you collect those premium dollars yourself, move them to your reinsurance company where they sit waiting to pay claims that's going to benefit not only your customers but also your portfolio. With CPI, you're already requiring full coverage insurance. We talked about that. Rather than your customers having to come up with money up front and have expenses associated with it, you can break it up by their payment, make it more affordable, and again collect those premium dollars, hopefully increasing your insurance penetration and reducing uninsured losses. With limited warranties and service contracts, you're going to be able to accomplish the same thing. If you're selling cars as is right now and a car breaks down within 30 days or 60 days, many of you are working with the customer, or you have an implied warranty of some kind where they're bringing it back to you, you're fixing the car, charging it to policy, and then doing what you have to do to keep that customer on the road and to keep them paying. By having that limited warranty and reinsuring it, it accomplishes the exact same thing for you and for your customers, but you're accounting for it in a better way, which is going to allow you to, again, retain those underwriting profits and have that money sitting there in reserve to pay these claims to better take care of your customer. Why should you do it? It's going to increase your ability to control risk. It's going to help you with things like uninsured losses. And then there are some tax deferral and capital gains benefits associated with reinsurance that you don't otherwise have the ability to participate in. Next week, the goal right now is to talk about CPI, debt cancellation, and gap. And yes, we're going to talk about gap. For a lot of you, if you are, charging off anything right now, if you have a loan and there's a certain amount that you're charging off, well, then you have free gap, especially if you're not doing any, bad debt collection. So why not charge for it? And we're going to talk about whether or not gap may or may not be right for your dealership specifically. So again, thanks for your time in advance. I look forward to hearing your questions and talking to you a little bit more next week, again, about CPI, gap, and debt cancellation. And I will hopefully talk to you guys soon.